Good afternoon and welcome once again to Digital Toolkit 2022, the only place to get the latest tools, tips and advice to help your business grow online. Today's session will be a really important one for a lot of small businesses out there who are still recovering from the natural disaster, the impact of the floods across the east coast of Australia. Our thoughts and hearts go out to all of you, and once again, this session will be really valuable to see if there's any support that might be available to help you build back up. So good afternoon and welcome, and handing over to Liam, our host for today.
Thank you, Katrina. So I'm Liam Fay, and for the last 8 years, I have been supporting businesses through the Australian Small Business Advisory Service Digital Solutions Program. And there's always a lot of help that's available to businesses. But until they know that that help is available, it's very difficult to access it and know where to go to find that help. So there's various different grants that pop up, there's the government websites, but more often than not, the question that businesses need to know is, what support do I need for my business? Now, naturally, in a time of great national crisis with the flooding that we have at the moment, all down the eastern seaboard, it's really affecting how businesses operate. I myself in central Queensland, we have no flooding here, but we have a limited amount of supplies because the roads have been cut. So businesses are struggling to maintain normal operation with limited stock. So how does a business sort of keep running from there? Those are the sort of things that we're going to be looking at in today's session and the support that's available. So what I'd like to do first is introduce Holly from the Logan City Council. I believe Logan's had a little bit of bad weather lately. What sort of support is available for businesses?
Yeah, so hi everyone, thank you for having me. So Council this morning has just announced a funding package for businesses that were inundated in Logan. So for any of your viewers that are from Logan, yeah, there's some funding that's come out from Logan. I'll share some links in the chat once I'm not talking. And the Queensland State Government and also the federal government have partnered, and they've got some funding that they announced over the weekend. So there's lots of support around for businesses that were affected by flooding. So as I said, I'll pop those links in the chat for your businesses to access. But also just more broadly, there's myself and another business advisor within Logan Council and a number of the councils across Queensland and in fact Australia that have business advisors within the council team. So for businesses obviously in Logan that were impacted by flooding, they can contact my team and we can assist them and plug them into what's around and help them however they need. But for businesses more generally, they should certainly be chatting to their local council in the first instance too, for business support and advisory.
So what sort of support can the council directly help businesses with?
Yep, so I'm a lawyer by trade, so I can help them with all, like I've been in government most of my career, so certainly know all the ins and outs of all the government programs and support that's around, and also yeah, had run my own business for a couple of years there as well, so you know, have boots on the ground in terms of knowing the struggles that small business owners have. So there's a couple of advisors in our team and a bunch of expertise across our team. So I guess when I'm talking to businesses in Logan, I'm just getting a feel for what their business does, what they're hoping to achieve, and just help them as much as I can with whatever they need. So there's no silly question, there's no short answer to this, Liam. It's whatever they need, I will try and provide, you know, tailored advice for them.
Does the Logan Council, councils in general, have any programs that are active at the moment outside of the emergency flooding that we have at the moment?
Yeah, so we don't, it's not that we don't run programs. The way that the structure is here is that businesses can access any one of the advisors at any time. And then we will work with that business one-to-one with whatever they need. That's not to say that we don't work with partners like Business Station, who have got the Digital Solutions program. We'll run those sessions here at Council. Certainly, we're developing up a program of events and workshops and stuff for Queensland Small Business Month in May. And we'll work with other partners throughout the year for different sorts of events and stuff. But yeah, we don't have structured programs like you're thinking.
So when a crisis hits and the city floods, what should businesses do in terms of getting support? Where should they turn to first? Is it to council, or should they be looking more nationally or more local?
Okay, so what we did, as obviously when the floods hit, we were busy reaching out to businesses that we know that had been inundated previously. So we were going to them, because business people and even homeowners, they're not thinking, hey, I should ring council. They're thinking, okay, I need to clean up and get in touch with their insurance agency and all of those sorts of things first. So we reached out to our businesses. We did some flood mapping internally to see where the floods had hit, and we were just assisting businesses that we know that were directly impacted. And we were contacting them and letting them know what council was doing to assist, whether that be, directing volunteers their way, getting services reconnected, curbside pickups and the like. So we were finding out from them what their immediate need was and then trying to get council resources out to them.
Can you provide some sort of example of some of the support that Logan City Council has done in the past with businesses that help them grow?
Yeah, so every day we're out. At the moment, what the current theme has been is getting skilled staff into businesses. So a lot of our businesses are indicating that they're struggling to get staff and then getting skilled staff. So we've got an employment coordinator within our team now. So we're actively going out to businesses and helping the businesses that are struggling to find staff, plugging them into the job seeker network and the employment services network that's around, and getting placing people, or helping businesses place people into jobs. So that's one thing that we have been really, for probably at least the last 3 to 6 months, that's been a big focus for us, because these businesses can't grow if they can't get the staff to take on the work. And certainly what we've been seeing through COVID is that a lot of the manufacturing work and that has been brought back to Australia. So these businesses, there's, some of our businesses have been thriving through COVID. There's obviously the businesses that have struggled, but there's been businesses that have gone berserk and are needing more staff. And obviously, we don't have as many overseas workers in the country at the moment because they all went home during COVID. So yeah, it's just navigating all of those with our businesses at the moment.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a shift towards the virtual world and having more employees online. Obviously, a manufacturing business, having employees working from home is not really a possibility. But for the administrative engineering type elements, there's definitely a space for. So sort of throwing to Carly on this one with the virtual assistant side, what sort of support is available there for having virtual workers?
Okay. There is, where do I start? For virtual workers, you've already got to be sort of set up or have an idea as to what capabilities you have in the first place. So you can expand with your hardware and all that sort of stuff. Like it's quite easy to do in that respect. But if you don't have that skill to start with, then look for a professional, look for a specialist. You're going to save your money, so you're not spending it so much. You're going to save the time for your turnarounds and for your actual deliverables, and you're going to get that quality product. Now, it is the same for us as it has been before the pandemic. You need somebody who is going to tell you what they need, when they need it, and communicate with you through through particular goals or milestones of the job, whether things are going right. But there is so much support nowadays. Everyone has a computer, everyone has at least internet before last week. some people in my suburb still don't have internet, and it's been over 10 days now. And for us, that's monstrous. I'd be climbing the walls. But you can go to the library. You can go, if you need to, get a dongle from Telstra or Optus and sit in the park, get some sunlight, watch the kids run around if they're not back at school yet, and you can actually provide that. So do your homework, do a bit of Google searching, online stalk them in a nice way, and have a call, see if you vibe with their business and give them a trial. Just try them out. If they're going to work for you, great. If they're not going to work for you, cut them loose. And I think that really comes back to you, Holly, with the skilled workers. You need to be able to try and source them, but you've got to be willing to try.
I know for myself personally, when we had cyclones up here in North Queensland, we lost power in our office for over 2 weeks. We're still operating the business. So trying to navigate and find somewhere that we actually had internet, and naturally, because everyone's gone from the hard lines over onto the dongles, all the 4G networks were congested and nothing was working properly. So turning to the local library was one of the sources that we did, ending up with a team of staff with their laptops working at the library just to be able to deliver the work.
I was just chatting to a principal whose school was shut last week and he was flooded in. So he was going to his local McDonald's to access there to do some work to get on their internet and stuff. So, yeah.
The businesses don't care. As long as you don't make a nuisance of yourself, they really don't care. They want to support you. They want local business to grow. And if you can somehow support their business, buy that coffee, do it. Yeah, get outside. Don't smell the manky water smell, try and go somewhere else. But other than that, go for it.
There's nothing like a disaster to bring people together. Although if you're trying to go to Maryborough McDonald's, you might need a canoe.
Yeah.
I think everyone's seen that photo. So we talked about support there from the council side and virtual assistant side. You've touched on a nice point there about support from other businesses. When you are struggling, there's probably other businesses that you can lean on for a little bit of support, especially in disaster time where they can offer that support. By looking further afield from that, we do have some government programs that are rather quite fantastic. So the Digital Solutions Program, which is run by Business Station. I'm a full-time digital solutions advisor for Business Station at the moment, based in regional city of Rockhampton. And the Digital Solutions Program is incredible because it partners a business with a absolutely world-class expert. And I believe we have 21 full-time digital solution advisors across our network in Western Australia, Northern Territory and Queensland. The southern states do have their own programs, digital solutions programs run by other groups who I'm not exactly familiar with, but you can quickly do some research on your business.gov site and find the right ones. The program is amazing because you get 3 hours of one-to-one support with a digital solutions expert for only $44, along with 4 hours of structured group learning. So it gives you a huge opportunity to do learning and ask the questions that you need to ask to improve on your business. In terms of the support that you can actually access, it goes beyond just the digital nature. So we naturally have the things around like websites and selling online, small business software, security, data privacy, social media, and digital marketing. But our program also goes into expand on business crisis management. How do you keep your business running when you're flooded up to your windows? Continuity planning, financial management and boosting your cash flow. Now, financial management and boosting cash flow, that's an area that I have no expertise in whatsoever. I'm definitely one of the people that spend money. I don't manage it. I can't keep it. So naturally, I don't run the finances in my own company. So when I get clients that ask me for advice around that one, I can refer them on to one of our other experts. So that's one of the nice things about the program. If I can't help you, I will connect you with the expert who can. So we also have support with staff management and creating safe work environments, retaining and staying connected to your customers, trying to find those internet when you need it, resilience and well-being, and also your COVID-19 stimulus packages and for small businesses. So There's not a lot of support now with businesses around the COVID-19. We're starting to see that dry out, especially up here in the north, just because we seem to be over it, at least for now. There's the next problem that's come up. But there was a lot of businesses that I did know that did struggle with COVID-19. Inside of the mask mandate period, I had one client that was down $600 a day throughout the entire time of the mask mandate. As soon as the mask mandate was over, he was $600 up. So there was definitely support that he needed around that and how to manage his cash flow and staffing so he could continue his business operation until it got to the bluer skies on the other side. So a lot of businesses might be feeling a little bit down at the moment, especially in the south where they've been hit with COVID. Now they've been hit with the flood. The question is, how do they keep managing on from that point? What sort of support is there beyond the digital solutions program and the council programs and the other support they can get from businesses? There's times where businesses just have to stand on their own feet, but accessing expert advice is definitely one of those directions you can go to, even if it's just someone to listen to your problems, because there might be one suggestion in there that can help you out moving forward. And we've seen that with businesses that we've worked with locally in my region. We had one client where they were selling microgreens to cafes and restaurants, doing a couple kilos a week, which would be good. But now we've managed to get them into IGA across the state of Queensland. So their product has massively expanded and they've had to take over other elements of their business and shut down those elements so they could expand the operation that was making a profit. So sometimes for businesses, shutting down part of your operation to expand another part is the right direction. Making sure that you get the advice on that is always important, and making sure that you showcase that capability of your business towards your customers. So creating that PR image going forward of what your business needs often revolves around your website. So Katrina, if you'd like to dial on here, how does a business show continuity in their business after a disaster?
Great question. I'm going to bring it back to communication, because if we're talking about, essentially recovering your existing client base, you would need to have consistent communication with your clients by email, by social media, even phone call or a text message. Hey, how you doing? And yes, we're fine, we're still operating, and while we can't do this, we can do this for you. So at least having that consistent line of communication open, which is one of the reasons why at Ranking Australia, we're Google business specialists, Google ranking specialists. So everything essentially to do with Google to help you get found online. One of the innovative upgrades to the Google business profile that they made with the introduction of COVID was you've got COVID updates inside of your Google My Business. It was called Google My Business profile. Now it's called Google Business Profile. But you can put your COVID updates in there as well as part of your business attributes, as far as, whether you wear masks inside and things like that, or get your employees get tested daily, all that sort of thing, so that you could give your clients peace of mind throughout the, COVID pandemic. But with regards to flooding and things like that, I think it was very, I found there was a lot more information about what was going on in businesses with, the impact and whether they were still, okay, they're still open, that sort of thing. I found a lot of information from Facebook as well as the local news. So not necessarily the national news. Obviously, they're tied up with the more, headline cases, but your local community news network. So for example, here in Regent's Park, we've got the Park Ridge News. They were really, getting out there and taking photos and keeping us informed while we were, trying to stay off the roads and keep everyone safe. So, linking with the various channels and keeping the lines of communication open I think would be an essential tick box for your checklist if you are experiencing any kind of disaster, risk management, that sort of thing. So just keeping people informed. So there's so many different ways you can do that, and you need to communicate on all channels, not just through email. But I think one of the biggest impact, as far as from other businesses that I encountered, as far as the communications throughout the flood disaster, I probably got 2 text messages through it, and they were really personalized. They took that extra 10 seconds to put together a personal message rather than sending a blast out. But even if you were to just send a blast out, at least it's a message that's been sent to your clients, and it makes them feel special for a moment, and they have a point of reference when they talk to you again, and likewise as well.
So one of the things that you can do beyond accessing support from other businesses, accessing support from advisors, and accessing support from councils and government is actually access support from your customers. And this is a little bit of an interesting one that's sort of often overlooked. So naturally you have the volunteers that pop up during an emergency that can help your business. There's a couple of different organizations where you can access volunteer support, but just in general business operation, accessing your customers and actually being willing to say, hey, look, we have a business and we're struggling with insert problem. And I want to tell you a little bit of a story about a business that I worked with, and it's called Millennium Collectibles. And they're a pop culture store based in Rockhampton. Now, back in 2018, they put up a post on their Facebook saying, our business is struggling, we're going to be closing the doors and just having an online store. It's not affordable to keep having our business open. Now, I got a phone call from my brother and he said, Liam, can you go help this business because it's my favorite shop? They sell Warhammer figures. He was really into that. So the business owner accessed his customer base to try and get support for his business. Went in there, had a bit of discussion with him. Naturally, because he put up the post, he got an influx of foot traffic to the business. So he had an increase in sales that allowed him to stay afloat and go into the next stage where he'd start covering the business. But we're able to grow it over a couple of years. The last 2 years that he's been in business, and he's been open since 1992, but the last 2 years have been his best 2 years on record. And he's in the process of expanding from a 60 square meter shop into a 600 square meter shop. He's going to be the largest pop culture store in Australia. So it's that transformation through working with your customers and accessing the support directly there. So businesses shouldn't be afraid to be able to put up their hand and go, my business needs help. Is there anyone, any of my fans, any of my followers, any of my likers that can assist me with A, B, C, D, E? It's one of those things that are often overlooked, but try and seek support from your customers when you're struggling, because you don't know who follows your page. You don't know what support you can immediately access through your customers. And sometimes it's simple as, hey, we've got this product, and share it. Let people know that we actually exist. So that's one that I'd recommend that businesses don't overlook in terms of seeking support from customers, council, government, and from other businesses. Okay, we might come back to you there, Holly. I see you nodding very eagerly on seeking support from your customers. I feel like you have something to add on that one.
I was just going to say always that that your customers know your business intimately. They're the ones that are going to tell you when you're doing a good job, and they're going to be the ones that are telling you when you're doing a bad job. So yeah, I echo exactly your sentiments there. Tap into them, because they're the ones outside of your business looking in, and they may see things that you don't. So yeah, no, I agree with what you've said there.
Carly, did you have anything to add?
You know what? No, this feels really broad and has covered just about everything I can think of.
And Katrina?
Well, I thought I might add something there with regards to, well, come back to the social channels and your Facebook groups, just linking on some of the content that was brought forward from last week with Dante and Kay. The Facebook groups or Facebook communities, I think, is probably a better phrase to put there, because the amount of, how do you say, loyalty towards your local residents in your physical community is somewhat similar. It's resonated through local Facebook groups or particular Facebook groups that have dedicated to a certain area, not, or an industry specifically. But if you are engaged in a Facebook group that has, you know, certain standards, procedures for communication, rules as such, and it's got a certain, how do you say, credibility for the content and the value of people that are inside that group, and it's obviously, you know, regular with content and activity, helps to, it helps to, you know, pop something in there. And so not just potential clients, but obviously your colleagues, people in the industry, people who are in the same space you are. But again, it's all to do with communication. And if you don't ask, you don't know. And if you don't ask for help, then you won't know who might be able to help you. So, but yeah, Facebook groups for sure will have an immense, whenever I've asked for help with getting recommendations for a particular need, whether it was a tradie need or something to do with the technical issue, I've always had, you know, responses within minutes of posting, and I've always been overwhelmingly pleased with the response or the person that they've recommended, because obviously they're known contacts of other people who have been able to help.
Right. You never ever discount the value of a referral. There's a lot of value in that.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I believe we'll wrap up this session. Holly, did you have anything final you wanted to add around the support from the Logan City Council?
I guess it's just easy. I've popped up details in the chat there. So any businesses in Logan that want to reach out, by all means, please do. They're welcome to reach out, and we can have a chat, and I can point them in the right direction or assist them directly. So that's fine.
Yeah, that's one of the important things. Generally, if we can't help you with something as an advisor, we can definitely point you in the right direction for where you can get advice.
Yep, 100%.
Back to you, Katrina.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, guys, for jumping in today. Thank you to Liam for hosting, Holly for joining as co-host. Thank you very much. A ton of value in this session. I can't wait to write up the tips for small business to be able to access via the Digital Toolkit website. So if you're watching this session live, you are realizing that there have been a few changes with the Digital Toolkit, or at least some changes being announced. So essentially, we are running fewer live sessions, but we are dropping the videos into the website. So all of the articles that come up, you'll be watching the video inside of the Digital Toolkit website. So please do make sure you register to make sure you get full access to those videos, and also the recap of the tools, tips, and advice that is provided in these sessions. So essentially, you know, putting everything in a neat little box for you guys to access with regards to each topic. So please do, again, keep championing the Digital Toolkit and letting people know that we are here and this resource is available for you to use. So we look forward to joining you next week with paid marketing on a budget for small business. So that'll be a really good one. It's specifically to do with, you know, managing with small budgets and actually using paid advertising. So billboards, social media, Google Ads, the works. So until then, I I hope you will make sure you subscribe so that you can get paid, get found, and grow your business online. Goodbye for now.